I thought, showed a lot of fight, a lot of grit to come back on a team like Boise and give ourselves a chance to win. I was really proud of that side of it, but on the other side, you can't let a team like Boise get their rhythm going and offensively flow like they did. They're too good. They've got too many good players. They play too well together. So while we end up in a great punches thrown back and forth in the second half, lead changes, big plays made on both sides, it still kind of had a feeling that we're going to have to do something here to kind of turn the tide, because they're really good offensively. They're comfortable with each other. Those types of games, they've been in tons of them, and they just made good plays. They made big shots. They made plays for each other, and they're a really good team, and that's what they do. And I think when we go back and watch the film, we'll see a handful of opportunities where we were just a split second late on something. But still, as always, proud of the guys. Proud like crazy for them to fight back, to scrap back, take a lead in the second half. It just shows how much they've grown together, how much better they've gotten, and I'm still excited for Monday to get back with them and get in the gym and get ready for Wyoming.
You guys have been the number one rebounding team in the conference, but a lot of second chance points for Boise tonight. What makes them so difficult to keep off the glass offensive rebounding, even after free throws as well?
I think one thing, they have a lot of guys that can go, but they also understand when to go. It's if you're going to out-rebound Boise, you've just got to be so disciplined in boxing out every single time, all five guys. And I think that's what makes them such a good rebounding team and kind of hard to prepare for in a sense, because there's some times where two go, there's sometimes where four go, and they just know. They know when to go. They understand each other. They know how to get back, get out of it. And then Armas, the way he puts pressure every single time on the rebounding, on the defensive glass for us, that type of effort opens up other one-on-one matchups that can be exploited. And, that was a huge part, I think, of tonight. Obviously, the free throw blockouts were the killer. They were the difference in the game. And, Vic's foul trouble was big. He was a huge reason why our rebounding numbers were so different, I think, especially from the non-conference to now. But one of the things we've done great since conference started was our three-point defense, and tonight they shoot mid-40s. And so, while the offensive rebounds were so glaring, that was just kind of uncharacteristic of what we've become in the last 2 months. And so, not disappointed by any stretch in the guys' effort and how they played, but just a little disheartening to see just kind of have one of those things that we've gotten just so much better at by just their focus, their attention, and their recognizing that that's been hurting us. And but yeah, there's a number of things tonight I think we'll be able to look back and see and be frustrated by.
Coach, I know there's only so much you can say about this, but I think at a minimum people would agree the officiating might have been a little inconsistent at times. You seemed a little animated at times on the floor. You usually don't get to that point. Can you talk at all how frustrating it is as a coach when the calls are as inconsistent at times as they are?
I think the frustration just came. I don't think it was a poorly officiated game by any stretch, and I'm not just saying that to avoid a fine or a suspension or anything. I mean, those are three experienced, high-level guys that do major, Power 5 games, that do NCAA tournament games. So I think the frustration on my end probably just came from, Boise almost just exploiting something maybe where, you end up just hoping it doesn't get called. But I think when we go back, we're going to see a lot of time. I mean, like we do almost all the time, that they were right, and they really are. They have a high success rate of being right. But yeah, it was a high intensity, high energy game. The crowd was great. They were into it. And I think that while I might have seemed more animated, I think a lot of it was just kind of being in the game, in the flow, and talking to those guys. I'll probably need to ask them, though, because I wonder if I'm actually yelling in their ear. And if I don't need to do that, then maybe I don't need to look so animated while I'm over there. But no, I mean, Boise's, they're good. They're good. They put you in tough spots where you end up chasing, or they're so physical you end up putting hands on them. And, just like up in Boise, I think that was kind of a huge stretch when we couldn't get a stop. And we were just fouling, but that's what makes them good.
You think this is the best team in the conference right now?
I think they're playing as well as anybody, if not better than everybody. We haven't seen Wyoming yet. They come in Wednesday, but they're just such a matchup problem. So many guys that are comfortable with their back to the basket or can make the catch and shoot three, and then you've got lightning quick Shaver making plays. So I think they all fill their role perfectly. I think they understand each other and play off each other better than anybody we've played. I think they're going to be a tough out in the Mountain West tournament. They're going to be a tough out in the NCAA tournament. They're experienced. They play well together. They play unselfish. They all kind of fill roles or even on specific plays of what needs to be done, they'll do it. And I think that's when you look across the country at the teams that are going to play in the tournament and win games. I think that's what you're going to see.
Kevin, you talked about matchups. Talk about your thoughts as far as Boise State on the defensive end, particularly in the backcourt, with the exception of Bryce. 5 guards for UNLV basically had 3 baskets the entire game. How frustrating is that for you as a team, not being able to be really prolific there, particularly in the second half offensively?
Yeah, I think, I've been saying for a month now, ever since Bryce kind of started his really good stretch of games, that a large part of that was because of the spacing. Guys being a threat to drive and kick after he creates an advantage and makes a play for someone else, and then somebody else, and it just kind of turns into a closeout game where we've been pretty good. But tonight I thought they did a really good job of keeping the ball in front. We didn't have a lot of opportunities to get in the paint. Those early charges on Bryce are a real kind of momentum shift because no matter what or who you are, it's in the back of your head that if you go into the paint and you go to try to make a layup, go try to make a play, they're going to rotate over. They're going to take charges. And so I thought those were 2 huge plays, especially in the first half, because we just couldn't get a rhythm going. I know we went on a good stretch, ended up scoring 41 points, but I thought those were just kind of a sign by them that they were going to do what they needed to do to keep the ball in front. But their length's really good. It's hard to make good on-time, on-target passes when they've got their arms out. And I think going back when we watch it, that's something that'll really stick out, is just how it's just not as easy as to make that clean pass that we've been able to make by the advantages we've been creating.
Keyshawn and Donovan really provided a spark for you guys in the first half. What do you kind of like about that duo off the bench?
Well, Keyshawn was just doing kind of what Keyshawn does. I mean, ever since the year started, he figured out really quickly that his role and his impact on the team and in games is going to be picking the ball up, turning it, making it hard for the ball handler to set the offense up. And Donovan, it was good to see Donovan feel like Donovan tonight. I think he's been a little timid lately. After being out for a while and the guys playing well, I thought he kind of had a mentality of not messing up versus just going and being himself and helping and kind of getting himself lost in the game. But, without question, that group that went in there, they changed the tide of the game. They got back in it. They were playing hard, having fun, and without a doubt, if those guys don't go out there and Keyshawn defensively and Donovan offensively do what they did in the first half, it could have been a very different night.
Any other questions for Coach? One more?
Hey, Coach, I know you have a veteran team, but a young Mountain West team, okay? Do you think that this type of environment and them being able to play with Boise, can you build on that with them throughout the next couple of weeks or whatever, so that they get into the Mountain West Conference tournament and they realize that they have a chance to actually make a run?
Oh, without question. And before I start, there are no moral victories. It's about winning and losing. Without question, we are not. But when you do have an older group, film is different. Walking through what we do differently, it's different because they have the game experience through their career, the days of film wherever they were, and the hours put in of how to get better from that. So, without question, this is a group that, when coaches meet with them, and we usually break it up. So Monday we'll break it up and watch individually or in small groups. They ask questions. They want to know, or they explain what they see. And when you have a young group, that doesn't always happen. So while of course, obviously got to win. You know, we want to win. We were right there. We gave ourselves a chance to beat Boise, and we did what we needed to do to give ourselves a chance. That doesn't mean we can't. This group won't see what we did and kind of alter or adjust or get better in the prep for Wyoming.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
They simply just go. They simply go. They're a long group of guys that have a lot of length at various positions, and they just go relentless pursuit. So, good job to those guys being coached. We'll go crash the glass.
Bryce, you came out really hot in that second half. What's it like to kind of be in that zone, and what was really working for you out there?
Just being able to get to my shots. Coaches drew up a couple plays for me, and you know my coaches and players, you know, my teammates, you know, helped me, and you know just believed in me to be able to make those plays. And you know, I knew that I had to get it going towards the second half, and that's what I did.
For either of you guys, the team got behind that 8-ball early. The bench kind of got you guys back into the game with that 12-2 run. Can you guys, either one of you guys, talk about the bench?
The bench helped a lot. You know, that was huge for them. You know, that's just something for the starters. You know, which you know I'll take that as myself. You know, we just got to do better. You know, starting out good. You know, they started off real hot, and you know they felt comfortable the whole game. But the bench did a great job coming in, being ready to play.
To both of you guys, do you think this is the best team you guys have faced in the Mountain West Conference thus far? What's your opinion on that?
I feel like they're a very solid team. I feel like when we buy into what we do and we follow coaches' plans throughout and through, I feel like that we can compete and beat anybody on any given night. But I think tonight they just did better at executing. Their intent was better than ours, and they just did the things that went into winning a little bit better than us tonight.
Bryce, both you guys were able to get going offensively in this game, but your teammates, especially your guards, your guys, Keyshawn, Jordan, it was a tough night for them. What was their mindset on the bench, particularly the second half there, because it was just a struggle for those guys across the board?
You know, just happens to everybody. You know, they just had a tough night. I mean, those guys work hard. You know, and, you know they're gonna keep getting better. I mean, you know, everybody has bad nights, but you know they're gonna keep going. You know, we stay positive in the locker room, so everything will be fine.
You guys are known for your defense, getting stops. It seemed like the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, they weren't missing.
Yeah.
Why? Is that a credit to them making tough shots, or are you guys not tenacious enough on defense tonight?
I think we have to notice the flow of the game, and we have to get them to miss. I think what we did in the first half was very unacceptable. I think we gave up 47 points in the first half, and that's usually not like us, especially not lately. So just being more intentional when guys making shots, when guys got a flow, when guys got a rhythm, just knocking them off that, being more intent, not letting them catch the ball, not letting them get to the spot he wanted to do. So I think just when you lock in on that, and I think that'll help us throughout the game.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.